Hi everyone, this is Mexican Uppercuts and we're back at it again with another Zangief matchup guide. Today we're going to talk about Ken Masters. He's the most popular and widely used character in Street Fighter 6, so you've likely run into a small army of Ken players already. This is a pretty classic David versus Goliath matchup. Zangief is arguably, it's one of the worst, if not the worst character in the game, and Ken is a pretty strong contender for the best. So, it's not the easiest matchup in the world, but we're going to do our best to learn more about it right now. There's a lot to go over in this one, so let's get started. So we're going to start with the neutral game. I'll be straight with you. Geef loses the neutral pretty hard here. Ken has a lot of tools that will absolutely smoke you, even if you have a decent amount of matchup knowledge. His buttons are faster, they reach farther, and they lead to combos that take you straight to the corner, like something like this. I'm bad, but even me just screwing that up, look, we're already in the corner. Like, he has an insane amount of corner carry. You absolutely cannot whiff against Ken. A good Ken player will see you whiff your button, and then he'll just slam you with this heavy punch that reaches across country lines. And he'll cancel it into a corner carry combo. It's nuts. He has really, really strong forward and back walk speed. Forward especially, I mean, just look at this man, zoom in. So, some moves that you use in other matchups are not as useful here. Something like your forward medium kick, it's likely to whiff because Ken's just moving back and forth constantly. And this move recovers kind of slow. I mean, it's a total of 34 frames, so he'll see you whiff and then he'll just slam you in the face with a knuckle sandwich heavy punch. If you're going to try to play neutral with him, the best space to be in is probably right around here. His crouching medium kick won't reach you, his heavy punch won't reach you, his standing medium kick will still reach you, but that's not too dangerous. But he can always do something degenerate like this. Just come from half screen with a crouching medium kick and just wreck your shit from way the hell over here. So if he's at this distance, just keep an eye out for the green flash and check him with a crouching medium punch or something. Any other buttons are a little too stubby or a little too slow, and they're likely to get beaten out in a real match. A really popular button that Ken love to throw out is this standing heavy kick right here. Moves him really far forward, it's got great range, and it leads to a good punish counter combo that, again, takes you to the corner. This is one of his only buttons that he can't special cancel, and it's got kind of slow recovery. If you see it whiff, try to react with a sweep or a crouching medium punch to catch the hurt box. So something along these lines here. Well, assuming I can actually get it. It reaches really far. It's insane. But you can, yeah. Try to get him with a sweep. That's your longest button. It's a decent amount of recovery. Since Zangief loses the neutral game so hard, you need to try to rush Ken down whenever the opportunity presents itself. Ken is at his best when he's the one dictating the pace of the match, so taking that away from him is your most consistent way of winning. Ken has strong wake-up options, just like any other Shoto, but as long as your meaty timings are on point, his only options for defending himself are things like EXDP and Wake Up Super, and all of them are heavily punishable. So you block it, and you absolutely kill him for it. This is also a strong strategy because Ken uses a lot of drive gauge for his pressure. So if we go back to what we were looking at earlier, when Ken comes at you from full screen like this, that's 4 bars of drive gauge taken up. So yeah, you know, you ate a combo, whatever, but if you manage to block it, that's a lot of drive gauge he's used up, which means he doesn't have that gauge to use for defense. So if you manage to break out of his pressure, you have to try to lock him down or keep him on the back foot so that he can never get a full drive gauge again. Or at the very least, he has less drive to work with, and that reduces his pressure on you. Since we're talking about the neutral game, let's talk about one of Ken's most effective tools at keeping Zangief out. This is his medium kick target combo. We call it crazy kicks. It's a really strong space control tool since it's pretty fast, it slides him forward, and it's not a hard hit confirm. Like, you can hit confirm that for days. Luckily, it's not too hard to deal with if you manage to block it. If they only do the first hit of the string, you get your turn back, but, I mean, nothing's really guaranteed. Especially if they aren't right in their face, which most of the time they won't be. Most of the time, Ken's going to throw it out from here because it reaches so far. The second hit is -12. So you can actually get a punish counter crouching medium punch after this into a full combo. Most Kens are going to do the first 2 hits because it's kind of difficult to hit confirm with just the first hit on its own. So that's a nice little option. And the third hit, if they foolishly let the whole string rip, the third hit whiffs if you're crouching. So you can get an even bigger punish. But honestly, just going for a crouching medium punch is kind of like an option select. That way, if you know, because what if he doesn't go for the third hit? Then you just sit there waiting like an idiot. But if you just, like, oh, second hit, just mash crouching medium. It beats every option, whether he decides to let it rip or not. So, yeah, Crazy Kicks is not that hard to deal with, luckily, as Zangief. Alright, now we're going to talk about one of Ken's most powerful knowledge checks. It's these Jinrai kicks. There are 3 follow-ups to this string, but there's really only 2 that you have to worry about. You've got the low, which you just saw. And he also has an overhead option. The horrible part about this is that they have different timings. The low comes out faster than the overhead does. So it's a true 50-50. Like, you're like, okay, he did the overhead. Okay, yeah, I can mash out. And then he'll do the low. And you'll get blown up with a counter hit. And it's a combo starter. So you might be thinking, like, oh, well, he's got 2 options with different timings. Does he just get this for free? Like, especially because if he does do the low, you might think, oh, it's -5 on block. I can punish. Awesome. Yeah, too bad. It's probably going to be spaced out and you can't reach. So punishing this string is not a reliable option. The way that you deal with this is you have to aim for a perfect parry on that low. The timing is a little strict, so bear with me. You can get that and get a little SPD punish. It's not much, but it's really the best you can do. The reason you want to go for a parry like this is because if you time your parry with the low, awesome, you get the perfect parry, but if he decides to go for the overhead, you need to make sure you hold the button down. That way you don't eat shit from a punish counter hit overhead. So I'll have them both turned on here. I'm going to time my parry with when the low comes out, but I'm going to hold the button down so that I'm protected from the overhead. And there you go. That protects you from both options. It's better than just sitting there and blocking it. If you don't parry, he gets this string for free all the time, and that's just unnecessary pressure and a lot of drive gauge damage. If you do block the overhead or you parry the overhead, it's not punishable. It's safe. It's only -3. But since he's -3, you might be able to sneak in a cheeky command grab since he's close enough for it. But it's not guaranteed. They can hold up and get out of it. But try to perfect parry the low. Make sure you hold the button down to prevent the overhead from catching you, and that's your best way of dealing with this. It's a strong offensive option, but you take this away, and he can't break you open as easily, at least hopefully. Alright, now here's the part that all of you are probably waiting for. We need to learn how to deal with Ken's insane corner pressure. What makes Ken so strong is that no matter where you are on the screen, if he hits you, you're going to the corner. He's either going to side switch you, or he's going to take you all the way across the screen in one combo. Something like this. And look, we're already on the other side of the stage from one straight hit. You're going to be put in the corner. It's an inevitability. It's a lot, but he generally has 4 options that you'll have to keep in mind. This is true for other throw loop characters like Cammy or Jury as well. He can either throw you, he can hit you with a meaty, He can shimmy, or he can neutral jump. These are his options that you have to be able to defend against while you're in the corner. Now, Ken is one of the lucky characters who has a true 50-50 whenever he throws you in the corner. He doesn't even have to move. If he lands a forward throw on you in the corner, he's still in range to just land another one, and it will beat any of your wake-up options. I've set Zangief here to do a wake-up crouching light kick, which is his fastest button, and I can just throw him out of it if my timing is good enough. If you notice, I throw out this jab before the throw to kill some frames to make the timing a little bit easier. The crappy part about this is he can just choose to not throw you as well. He can meaty you instead using the exact same frame kill. Yeah, I messed it up the first time, but it's not that hard. So he throws you, you see him jab one time, and it's still a 50-50. Like, I know getting thrown over and over again is frustrating, but the damage he gets off of the meaty is way more than this throw is gonna do. Like, yeah, like, I threw 5 or 6 times in a row right there. If you eat a punish counter of any kind, like, that's the equivalent of 5 or 6 throws. So I know it gets frustrating to eat throws over and over again, but teching the throw is a hard read that you really only want to save as a last resort. We have some other options that we're going to go over right now. Ken has a lot of options to beat you if you decide to wake up and try to tech a throw. He can meaty you to just stuff your throw attempt. He can shimmy and blow you up, or they could neutral jump and come down with a jumping heavy punch and blow you up. It might seem kind of counterintuitive, but waking up and trying to tech a throw is actually your riskiest defensive options. So it's generally safer to wake up and try to go for a parry or just block and hold it. Ideally, you want to try to time your wake up parry with this meaty here. But you want to make sure you hold the button down, because if he decides to neutral jump and come down with a heavy punch, you need to make sure you're holding your parry so that you don't get punish countered when the parry ends. This button has an absurd downward hitbox, so a Ken's not going to jump and wait to react to see you parrying. They're going to push it like up here, like at the tip of their jump, because it doesn't have much horizontal range, but the vertical hitbox on this is absolutely absurd. He'll hit you from the stratosphere. So yeah, I mean, wake up parry is, I mean, it's got its risks. You might get punish counter thrown sometimes, but I mean, teching a throw is just as dangerous. Ken is strong in the corner. This is his win condition, and Zangief doesn't have strong defensive options. He just kind of has to hold the mix sometimes. If you smell the throw coming and they're getting predictable with it, try to tech the throw, but realize that you're taking a big risk there. At the end of the day, the odds really aren't in your favor in this situation. We don't have an invincible reversal other than our level 3. I mean, our level 2 is invincible, but if they use a light punch as their meaty, the light punch recovers in time, so they'll be able to block it. If they jump up, your level 2 will miss and they'll catch you coming down. We just kind of have to pray to our Lord and Savior Snake Eyes that we're making the right reads here. Yeah, Zangief is not having a good time when his back is to the corner. I know this has been a long one. Ken's got a lot to him. He has a lot of really strong tools. He's privileged, not all that hard to play. You're going to see a lot of him because he's really popular, and he's arguably kind of overpowered. I mean, he's top tier for a reason. But those of you who are counting on the patch to save you, I mean, there's no guarantee that Ken's going to get nerfed or anything. And even if he does get nerfed, we're stuck dealing with this version of Ken until around Evo. So the best thing you can do in this matchup is you just got to stay calm and try to keep a cool head. Zangief players have to just remain calm. We don't have as many options as Ken does. Ken players are notorious for just doing a bunch of stupid shit, and all it takes is a single SPD grab to get rolling. So just try to take advantage of these mistakes that a Ken player is inevitably going to make, and put this overtuned bastard in his place. I hope this guide makes the matchup a little bit easier for you. Like and share the video, and have a nice day, everyone. Take care. See ya.